welcome to another brand new episode here on 1950's Farm. So how are we all doing today? Are you having a good one? I hope so. My day not going too bad. It's been a busy morning down on 1950's Farm. So we got the rest of the manure out of the pit, and the way I did that was I loaded the manure spreader from the pit, which just seemed a much more sensible idea. I don't really know why I didn't think of that in the first place. But yeah, so we loaded that, and then from the pit, and then as I say, I came and spread, did one breed round the headland, and then we've done, I think this is about third, I think fourth maybe, up and down breed. So yeah, it's not going too bad. As you can see, I'm missing plenty, but it's not easy to see, to be fair. It'll be really nice when sometime in the future some clever person might be able to invent some system where you just press a button and it helps you drive in a perfectly straight line. But I guess that's the stuff of science fiction in 1950s. In the 1950s, but of course we know that eventually it did happen. Someone very clever came up with GPS, which would be very nice on this farm, given how big the fields are. It will be very nice indeed. We can just about get up and down with a full tank, so that's just about handy. Yeah, we can just do it. There will be a little bit left over, but not much. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so as you can hear and tell today, I'm absolutely full of cold. So that's lovely. But I've had a sore throat now for a couple of days, so it's not really come as a great surprise. And you know, being the fact that it's winter, you know, colds are unfortunately something I just seem to get quite a lot of. So I guess we'll just have to live with it. But nice and mild on the computer day. 16 degrees for late November. Very good. I'd be more than happy with that in Great Britain, especially after the weekend we've just had with all the snow we've just had. So, although having said that, again, live in Lincolnshire, on the Lincolnshire-Norfolk border, and didn't have any. It rained quite a lot, but we didn't have any. But up north, it was quite bad, apparently. So my sympathies go out to all the people, as I say, north of us. But nah, didn't experience any down here. But yeah, so today's episode, we're just going to crack on with the manure spreading. I think it's going to take probably, well, we're definitely going to be doing it, as I say, for today. And then I might just finish it. And then the next time we come in, I will. Now, just interestingly, actually, I meant to tell you this a few episodes ago, and I keep forgetting. So, first off, I've had a bit of a tidy up. Are you impressed? Because I am. It makes life so much easier. But I kind of got a little bit tired of the grain spilling through the shed, and it was getting closer and closer. And there, as you can see, it did happen. But I was kind of like getting a bit, and then I just thought, well, you're a wally really, because you could just tip it down the middle, and then it doesn't really matter how far out it spills out. You've still got all that free. I was thinking, like, you know, sometimes you really are moronic. So yeah, that's what we decided to do. I decided to start tipping it down the middle. I don't know quite why I left such a big dip there, but anyway. But yeah, so all the soybeans have been tipped in the middle like that. But that was the reason why I decided to do it, because I was sort of kind of, it, you know, kind of, for me, spoils the immersion a little bit. And as I say, this side I did do it. As you can tell, although it hasn't come through as bad as what I thought actually, but it has obviously come through. but this shed's going. So when we get part of the big rebuild, this shed's, well, all the sheds are going, apart from the red ones, the ones that we've already put up. But that shed over there, that shed there, shed there, shed there, all going. I might even get rid of the house. Now, a lot of people will sort of maybe think, well, yeah, but you know, yes, it doesn't have a function, but you know, and it's purely for the fact that it doesn't have a function. Excuse me, why I'm thinking about getting rid of it, because you know, we can build all out here. You know, this yard is ready for a little bit of expansion. You know, and sort of just turning over to being a little bit more. I see again there, like it's happened there, like where I put the ear of corn, and then when I shoveled it up, it just pushes it through the shed. So I want to stop all that. You know, we've got space here that isn't being used. Well, this is going to be a second cow barn, so we're going to have another one of them. So we're going to double what we use each year. But you know, we don't need you for several months. You can go home, you know. You don't have to just kind of sit there and, you know, just wait for your moment in the sun. You know, go home. I'll call you when we're ready to start planting. That's funny in my head. It's probably not funny to anyone else, but it amuses me, and that's what's important. So that's our new rake. Obviously, these are our seed bags that we've got left. But yeah, so we're going to have another, as I say, cow barn there, and then another bale storage. So that's going to go in. I think what I might do is, as well, I might put down an actual pit and tip into a pit so that we can keep it a little bit more contained. I mean, it's okay here. I mean, you know, it doesn't hurt nothing here, but I might do that. But like I say, we just need then to get once I get the cow barn up next to that one, get the bale storage up, sort that out. Silage pit is coming down, but we will then put one up because we will move over to silage eventually. It's just at the moment, all of the equipment that we've got for silage is quite modern. So it's like these, and I do apologise, I normally catch them before that happens. So the ear of corn, in FS19 there was a working corn crib where you could load it with a conveyor belt and then unload it with the conveyor belt that was made for the crib. That doesn't work in FS22. So I had a little go at trying to convert it, but yeah, modding is not my strong point. So it's a shame really, because I might have to stop doing them. The year of corn, even though I like it, and even though back for the time it was something that was regularly being done, and the dairy and Harry's farm, you know, sort of did it very regularly. But yeah, so as I say, we get the new dairy cow barn up, get the bale storage up, silage pits coming down, and then new bale storage up, and then over here I think this is where we're going to build the bins. So I've thanks to PA Ploughboy, and if you haven't done already, go check out his channel. Absolutely superb videos. Videos that actually I must try and remember to catch up on a little bit. But yeah, so if you come into here, which is this one, and then go silos. So he recommended a silo that would be in keeping with the 1950s. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. So that's the silo that he recommended. So they're the silos that we probably will be using, or maybe one of these. Again, because it says old silage. Old silage. It doesn't say old silage. It says old silo. But yeah, so that's another one that we could use. But yeah, that will be, as I say, in a few episodes' time. But once we get all that done, we will be we'll be cooking. And then, as I say, once we get all this yard redone, then those trees over there at Harry's farm, they're all coming down, and we'll be changing the landscape there just a tiny bit, not a huge amount. All the trees will go, but that's all basically it's just to make the fields there a little bit bigger, because there's 2 fields that are there at the moment that are a mile off. What am I doing? That are a little bit inconvenient with how small they are. Even for this equipment, they're too small, and so what I plan to do is to knock the trees down, or cut the trees down, make firewood. We can then sell the firewood, because that was something that was done quite regularly in 1950, and by Harry himself actually. He talks about cutting down trees and doing work in the winter for people where tree removal was necessary for whether it be the fact that it was being developed and they were in the way. There are actually quite a few incidences of him where he did quite a bit of forestry work and cutting down forests for development and for building purposes, and he said that part of the contract with, I mean, in England it would be called the council, but I'm guessing in America it's probably called the state, I would imagine. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know or try and sound intelligent, because I'm just going to make myself look even more of a wally. But the local authorities that were kind of in, sort of getting the building works all sort of kind of started and development started, would apparently seek, obviously, foresters, but also local farmers, and part of the deal was that if you were contracted in to cut down the trees, you could keep the trees. It was up to you what you did with the trees. And Harry says that he made quite a good successful sort of side hustle of making firewood out of the wood and the very best trees and logs that he had. They used to go to a sawmill, so it wasn't something that he did like it wasn't a yearly thing. It was just every now and again he would get sort of drafted in, or a forestry contractor would bring him in, because obviously he's got tractors and stuff like that. And he would be able to do that. But yeah, so anyway, I'm beginning to lose the will to talk, and I want to. I don't want to deafen anyone with my coughing and anything else. So I'm going to switch over to some time lapse. We're going to time lapse, as I say, the vast majority of the spreading, and then we'll come back, and then we might do a bit more, and we'll see where we're at. But bye for now. So I'm back. Yes, I've had a healthy dosage of cough and flu remedy, as in a nice Lemsip, and I'm feeling a little bit more human again. Right, so we've done fairly well. As you can see, there are a lot of patches that I've missed. So it just shows that you can trust me in life, because I'm not very good at spreading anyway. uh, um, I've been working for the whole time I've been recording on that joke. I'm hoping at least one of you laughed. Anyway, yeah, as I say, we've got on fairly well actually. I think we're about roughly halfway through the field now. So as I say, we've done really well, apart from the bits that I've missed. So there is going to be quite a bit of patching up to do, but that's not overly too bad. I'm not too worried about that. And it also looks like there's going to be more than enough manure there to finish the field, so I'm really happy about that as well. To be fair, because one of the biggest sort of kind of issues and worries, well, not really a worry, but one sort of thing that does concern me is that I'm only going to have enough for a quarter or a half of the field. And that's obviously no good to me, because I want to get this ploughed and get it turned over, get it overwintered, and then get the soybeans spread in. Because the ear of corn, I can't get a crib, and the silos won't accept it. Even multi-fruit silos won't accept it. I might be joining that field onto the other field, and just having that as one massive field. The reason that I wanted to do the ear of corn was because I wanted to do something different. So it was something, as I say, that was done back in the day on both farms. Harry and the dairy both did it. Don't get me wrong, the dairy didn't put it in the same field year after year, but because nothing accepts it, sell points, I've had to mod one to accept it. But again, I've modded it, so I think let me get this right, because I've been using it on another save of mine that I kind of, where I try sort of things out and make sure that mods work, and I've been using it quite a bit on there. And the other day I sold a trailer with about 42,000 litres of them in, and made about £6,000. So it's not a huge winner, which for this save doesn't bother me. I have to say that quite quickly, because it doesn't bother me. But overall, like I say, just because I can't get anything really to accept it, and I can't really do anything with it, because I can't even feed it to the animals. My sort of editing and skills like that only go so far. I can't get the cow troughs or any other trough to accept it, so it kind of leaves me in a position of it's probably overall not really worth me doing. Let me know if you like seeing it. We can carry on, it's no problem. It's no problem at all, but in terms of sort of function and practicalities, it's probably not all that. In terms of, as I say, there's not much I can do with it. With everything else, there's several things that I can actually sort of turn around and do with it, and it makes it a worthwhile sort of commodity to have, because as I say, there's lots of things I can do with it to sort of change things up a bit. But anyway, as I say, let me know what you think. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has gone. I'm not so pleased with how much I missed. There was a bit there right at the beginning where I wasn't missing anything, and it was matching up, and it was kind of, it was sort of nice and straight, and I thought, yeah, not bad, good job here. And then literally after I thought that, it kind of, so I turned around like, whoa, I've missed a big chunk there, and oh, hang on, that's not so straight no more. And the other thing as well is, I told you in the introduction, said, oh yeah, you know, we've not had no snow over the weekend. You know, up north have had it really bad. I literally started the time lapse. I looked out of the window, and it was snowing as hard as I have ever seen it snow. I was like, I literally just said it hasn't snowed here all weekend, and we've been okay. Then the snow stopped. It then turned to rain, which is, you know, better. The snow didn't settle; it just literally hitting the ground and dissipating because the ground was so wet, because we've had a lot of rainfall overnight. And now we've had bright sunshine for probably about the last 20 minutes or so. Really bright blue sky sunshine, because I thought, oh, I might go for a walk today. That might help to clear the cobwebs out a little bit, you know, and sort of help to feel better a bit. And now it's absolutely hammering down with rain again, so snow is imminent, I would imagine. But yeah, so I couldn't quite believe that. It's like me saying, you know, oh, we've had no snow, you know, it's been great, you know, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like, Jesus, it's snowing. So it appears that this morning I've got the jinxing pow. So I'm not going to be making too many predictions. I'll just keep my thoughts to myself. And people are kind of in YouTube land going, if you wouldn't mind. It's a pity you can't do that all the time, Sam. Anyway, gonna crack on with this. I'm nearly done, to be fair. You know, this hasn't really taken, you know, sort of too bad at all. As I say, we've done really well today in getting this field spread. Although, like I do say, you know, this field is nowhere near as big as the other field. The other field is massive. You know, this field is nowhere near as big, so it is a bit easier to get across. Like I say, next episode pretty much should be ploughing this. And what I'll do is the last time I sort of did ploughing, sort of 2-3 episodes in a row, we'll do a ploughing episode, and then as I say, and then the next episode after that, the ploughing will be completed. And then we can get on with farm builds and different things like that. It's not going to change, you know, immensely, that farm, but I don't like those buildings, and I would like to go for something a little bit more, you know, what I would maybe believe is more traditional, like those red buildings. So yeah, but yeah, all in all, it's gone really, really well, and as I say, I'm pleased. To be fair, actually, this save has kind of, I don't know, it's got a real momentum. Any spare time that I'm getting now, you know, I'm coming to 1950's Farms, because I absolutely adore this series. I honestly, I do. You know, it's going to go on for many episodes. I mean, there's no two ways about that. You know, I think, to be honest with you, in the way that FS25 has started, I think FS22 is going to outlive FS25, because honestly, that game is, there's some really nice touches, but they concentrated more on the really nice touches than on the actual game. And you know, the game at the moment is really poor. I do like it, and I enjoy the Market Garden series. You know, I enjoy my sort of Hate Walter series. I don't know how that came around, but it did. You know, I sort of enjoy recording those, but any spare time that I get, I'm on FS22, usually on this one, and I'm still sort of doing my Oaks, farm. I'm not really recording that anymore, because again, it became one of those sort of things that I was putting up as kind of just something a bit different, but a lot of the views sort of virtually stopped on it, and it was getting sort of 3, 4s, and 5 views, and I just thought there's no point. I can just play this for myself and what have you, and just concentrate more on on this series. This is by far and away my most watched series, best supported series. So at the end of the day, having been to a Lord Sugar convention in London, at the business convention Oxbow thing. I can't remember what it was called. It was quite a few years ago now. It was a couple of years after The Apprentice started, and The Apprentice has been going a long time now. But yeah, I went there, and one thing that, because I was lucky enough to meet him and to get to sort of speak to him for a couple of minutes, if that. But one of the things that he said to me, I'd actually approached him because I had an idea for something, and the idea still stands. I just can't find anyone to help me build the idea because I'm not very good at the sort of practical kind of building sort of thing. But and he agreed that it was. He said, I know absolutely nothing about what you're talking about. I've got absolutely no idea what you're going on about. However, he said your idea within what you're talking about is absolutely brilliant. And he said, I think if you can find the right person to complete that, you will do very well out of it, by the sounds of it. And like I say, the idea still stands. I've been to a couple of big toy companies. I got the idea patent, so they couldn't nick it. So I thought, if they kind of go to me, nah, that's a terrible idea, that'll never work, and then a year later I see them in the shops, I'm like, hang on a minute. So I thought, no, I'm gonna get them patented, so that they can't just pinch my idea. And I went to them, and all of them kind of said, they said, like, it's a great idea. We don't know enough about it. You seem fairly clued up on it. Go to a prefabricator or someone like that to get them to do a prototype. Bring the prototype to us. If we like it, we'll build it. But I just cannot find anyone that will do the prototype for me. And the biggest problem there is that I did find someone to do the prototype for me. So there was a company in Norwich that were more than willing to build the prototype, but they wanted the money for the prototype up front, which was 102 grand. So I was kind of like, he sort of stood there, and he said it so matter of factly. He's like, yeah, it'd be about 102,000, and I was like, in the words of the Virgin Mary? And I said, like, come again? He said, well, it'll be about 102,000. I said, yeah. I said, I'm about 102,000 short. He was like, he goes, you just need to get some sponsorship. I was like, Jesus, it's taken me 5 years to find someone to build the bloody prototype, let alone now trying to get sponsorship for it. And then I had a bloke that was like, yeah, I can build that in the shed, no problem. I'm like, oh, here we go. I said to him, I said, like, to a good standard. I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I said, but it needs to be to a good standard. Oh yeah, no problem. And he started off, the first couple of months, honestly, I thought we're going to have this done in about 6 months. And thereafter, I went to him one day, and he'd built it. He'd put a go-kart engine in it, give it to his son and his daughter, and then said to me, no, I ain't going to waste my time. Thanks for the idea, my kids love it. And that was it. But again, obviously, he couldn't sort of do anything with, like, kind of building more or doing it, because again, the idea, as I say, I did get it painted so that it couldn't be ripped off, and that was one of his bits of advice. And he actually, I was really surprised, because he got one of his people to take my email address, and whether it was him that emailed me, I mean, it was signed Lord Sugar, but that doesn't mean nothing, does it? You know, whether it was him personally, but he gave me some really good advice. And on the day when I met him, he said to me, you know, he said, if something works, then just keep selling it. You know, if something sells, keep selling it. Don't think to yourself, right, let's go and find the next thing. No, 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 no. He said, if that's selling, keep selling it. You know, he said, and keep selling it until it doesn't sell no more, and then go and find the next thing. You know, he said, like, you know, he said, just honestly, he said, like, be passionate about it. You know, do the thing, because I basically went there to pitch, you know, my idea, because the point of the whole thing was that yes, Lord Sugar was going to do, you know, like a talk, a speech, you know, for about an hour and a half on business and how to, you know, sort of get along and, you know, sort of survive, and, you know, not only that, but to prosper. But at the actual thing as well, afterwards, you know, there were people there that you could go, like investors, I guess, and you know, you go and pitch your idea, and you know, you kind of hope that one of them would take it on, and you know, the response I got was pretty much the same that day, all day, as it is still today. Because although I don't sort of, I've not really looked any more into getting it done, because as I say, if I need 102 grand up front, I've got no chance. You know, absolutely no chance. You know, I'm still about 103 grand short now. You know, so it's you know, sort of not going to happen. But you know, one time it was a great idea. But anyway, yeah. So the point that I was trying to make was that this series is well supported. It's, you know, well thingy. So therefore, you know, I sort of do record, you know, a few episodes a week for people, and yeah, I just really love it. And as I say, it's a fairly well watched series as well. So I'm really grateful, you know, to everyone that does watch it. But as for me, well, I think this is where we're going to leave this episode. So I haven't got that much more to do. We'll get this done, and then the next episode, when you come back, as I say, I'll be ploughing it. So yeah, thanks ever so much for watching. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Bye for now.